Do you experience that you don't have a long-term roadmap about what you want to build for your product? Well, do you want to know why this is a problem and also what you can do about it? Then this is a perfect video for you. And this clip from our very first webinar, Luciano will tell you all about it.
Rome was not built in a day. And that's the same with your startup. You cannot just, like Peter said, you cannot just build a rocket ship from the start. That's impossible. So what should you do? How should you approach this? You should always start as small as possible. The smallest workable product you can validate with users. That's your MVP. Everyone knows the lean startup and MVP, but you know how to go from there. So after your MVP, which is really the bare minimum workable product, then that's not something you can really sell. It's just, does it work? And from there, you should work towards a product that you can market and sell. And that's your MMP, your minimum marketable product. And if you have that, then of course you should incrementally improve and expand your product based on feedback, experience, market needs, the market changes. And you need that sort of future goal, the dot on the horizon, so to say. That's where you use a roadmap for. You need to know where you are going. You should refer to this roadmap when you are deciding what feature to build next. And you should also get clients involved in building this roadmap. So how do you make this? You can, of course, make a very long list in some sort of Jira or a software, but there's a better way to do this. So you can make 4 categories based on the cost of a feature and based on the value of the feature. And this is how you should categorize things. You should think of, this is my ideal picture. This is how my product in the most ideal situation with infinite time and budget would look like. Then divide that into your features or epics or however you like to call it. And then you can categorize these features on how much will it cost and how much value will it bring. And this is a quadrant from Clean Agile by Robert C. Martin. Great book, highly recommend. And this is how you can categorize them. So do now, of course, you want to focus on what has the lowest cost and the highest value. And you never want to do anything that doesn't have any value but high costs. So planning your work is essential. So Rance from Novelty also told us that this was one of the most common pitfalls he had seen. And Daniel from Agile also has some things to say. So let's have a...
When you're starting out, most people try to solve too many problems at once. Therefore, we always advise to specify. Try to solve one really specific problem first and then scale up. It's easy to see the big mountain, but it's really difficult to climb it in one go, so pick a niche. However, especially as a tech startup, this can be difficult. Sometimes you solved one problem really successfully, but then you create a scenario where that one customer wants you to solve more of his problems. This could be an easy way to generate and create more revenue, but in practice, you've turned your scalable startup into a service provider. You've earned money too fast. One strategy to overcome this is to build modular blocks from the start. Easier said than done, but create separate functionalities that can be turned off and on again. Most applications need a user portal, an admin control, a payment system, and a dashboard, and it can be helpful to plan for those at the start. Create a functionality roadmap and let your customers decide what's in it and when it should be working. Think about it.
One of your colleagues, he explains it really easily. In the beginning, go slow to go very quickly in the end. Well, yeah. Obviously, in the beginning, we did quite the opposite. There was an amazing feature list that, well, obviously wasn't feasible to finish in a certain amount of time. So being very strict towards yourself, like what feature actually does make me money in the short run, focus on that and skip the rest.
And also adds value to the customer, of course.
Yeah, well, I think that's the same thing. Yeah. I mean, first validate that people love to use it and then the clients want to pay for it. Often I think it could be done with like 30% of the features that you envision as a founder. So be very strict to yourself and have your product owner tell you again and again what is necessary and what's not. I learned that personally, to listen to those arguments more and more.
And did you like this video? And we have much more content for you to read and view. For instance, our other videos and of course our website. Together with you, we want to achieve growth for your startup. And we want to enable this by development, UX design, and of course, determining the strategy. Now feel free to contact us with no strings attached, and let's see what we can accomplish together.